All right, guys, and welcome to another edition of Just a Guy Talking Football podcast with PJ and Tate. We're missing Tate today, so it's not a couple guys talking football. It's just a guy talking football. But it's Thursday. It's opening week of the NFL. And we know what happens on Thursdays. That's right, kids. The P's with PJ. Picks, props, and parlays. We've got them all for you. Here we go. So we're going to try to get you all started for the season with the game tonight, which is the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are raising the banner tonight. They are not remembering that it's banner night. Oh, we're doing the banner tonight? It's just kind of funny. I think that's just their way of keeping their eyes focused on this year's Super Bowl rather than any other. Listen, I think it's going to be a pretty easy victory for the Eagles, and I'll go over a couple of the points. But one of the biggest ones, and I know we haven't covered it on this podcast yet, is they just jettisoned one of the probably top players in the NFL, and especially top players on the defensive side, and Micah Parsons when they traded him to the Green Bay Packers last week. This is taking nothing away from Kenny Clark. I think Kenny Clark's a good defensive tackle. I'm sure he'll help the Cowboys. But let's be honest, Cowboys fans, that was waving the white flag. Absolutely. That is the Cowboys organization telling you that they don't think that they're going to probably be good enough to even sniff at a Super Bowl. Because if they were good enough to sniff at a Super Bowl, they would have let Micah force him to play for probably his fifth year of his contract, try to franchise tag him next year. Whichever, but they bypassed all that, and Jerry Jones went and traded Micah Parsons. So, what that says to me, Cowboys fans, is we're in some trouble here. Brian Schottenheimer is your coach. All due respect to Brian Schottenheimer, knows a lot more about football than I do, and is much more qualified to be a coach than I am. But he wasn't on anybody else's list. He was only on Jerry Jones's, and that is because Brian Schottenheimer, sorry, I almost said Micah there, but Brian Schottenheimer will listen and do everything that Jerry Jones says. That's what Jerry Jones wants. He wants a plug-and-play coach that will just kind of turn the key. They wanted continuity with Dak Prescott, so that's why they kept Brian Schottenheimer, because he was around underneath Mike McDonald. But that's where we're at, is you got Brian Schottenheimer as a coach. You're going in against probably the most talented roster in the NFL, if not the second most. I mean, the only other one that could probably hold up to him, I think, is the Ravens. But I think the Eagles are probably the top talented roster. That defensive line, that offensive line, they've got Saquon still, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. It's not gonna be pretty for Cowboys fans tonight. It really isn't. Listen, I know that we've seen some of these games, these opening games, kind of be the route of, oh, look it's a close game. Like the Chiefs had this way of, Mike Florio likes to say on his podcast, playing with their food, where, they keep the opponents in it. Like, look, 2 years ago, I think the Lions beat them, right? And then last year, the Ravens took them down to the wire. I don't see the Eagles being that same team. I really don't. I know this is a division game, so that kind of speaks to me that we should be close. It should be closer. But unfortunately, folks, I just can't see it being that close. I really can't. The Eagles are just headed and above a better run organization, better talent-wise, better everything, okay? Jalen Hurts is on a mission, I believe. I believe the Eagles, in general, are on a mission. Vic Fangio's still there. Yeah, okay, so they lost their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore left. I still think that Sirianni has the blueprints of what the offense should be. He's an offensive-minded head coach. The offense is not going to lose its identity that way. Listen, I'm going Eagles money line, guys, of course. That's the easy part. Now, the tricky part is Eagles 8.5. Because that's what they're favored by tonight. The Eagles are favored minus 8.5. I'm really kind of curious to see what happens here. But because a division game that just screams to me too many points, but I'm going with the Eagles at minus 8.5. Listen, I could be completely off my rocker, but this Eagles team is, like I said, so much better than the Cowboys team. I can't see it. Where is their defense going to stop the Eagles? Is their offense going to score on the Eagles defense? Sorry, Cowboys. I can't see it. I'm sure that the Cowboys will make a late push and probably get up to like around 20 points. I don't see much past that. I think the Eagles are going to run the ball. I think they're going to throw the ball. I think they're just going to cause havoc all day long, especially for those hungry Philadelphia fans. So I'm taking the Eagles minus 8.5, and I'll take the over 47.5. Okay? I think the Eagles are going to put a drubbing on, and I think that's what you're going to see. I could definitely see this game being like a 31-20, 31-17, 35-17. It could get out of hand, especially for the Cowboys in this opening game. No Micah. It could be a tough pill to swallow for the second week of the row for Cowboys fans on Cowboys News. All right, let's roll through these games. I'm going to give you all the way up to Sunday night. We're going to leave Monday night to talk for a quick review on Monday. So I'm going to go through all the games. I'm going to give you the money line against the spread and the over-under pick for each game, like I just did with you for Philadelphia and Dallas. Now, let's talk about how I did last year. Money line, 187.85. All right. That's up from the year in 2023. I was 168 and 104. So we're trending in the right direction. Against the spread, I was 140 and 125 and 7 pushes. Okay. Over under, I was 134, 130, and 8 pushes. Did a little bit better than the previous year in all of those. Really, against the spread for 2023, I was 130, 132, and 10. And over under, I was off by 4 games. I had 138, 130, and 4 pushes that year. So very close on the over unders. Pretty much split right down the middle. But definitely do well in the money line and gets the spread. So let's talk about the next game, which is on YouTube tomorrow night. That's the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Los Angeles Chargers all the way in Brazil. Because this is a Chargers home game, folks. So I know it's a little difficult to keep up. Yes, the Chargers play in LA, and they're having a home game all the way over here in Brazil. So yes, that is what's happening tomorrow. Okay, listen, Kansas City. Let's talk about Kansas City briefly here. I think Kansas City's going to be scary. Yes, they're out without Rashee Rice for a couple weeks. I get that. Fine. They've got other guys to throw to. I believe that this is probably going to be Travis Kelce's last year. He's engaged now. He's got this podcast running. His brother's already retired, enjoying the podcast life. I'm sure Travis is going to want to do this soon too. I think that Travis Kelce is going to be on a little bit more of a mission this year than he has been in the previous years. He actually talked about it candidly. He said that, the last couple of years he hasn't been focused on football as much. Shocking to know, since, we see the cameras, panned around him and Taylor all the time, which is completely fine, doesn't matter. But for him to admit that he hasn't been focused on football and he's finding that focus again this year is a big deal to me. Travis Kelce is a heck of a competitor. And if he can turn it on and be a little bit of the Travis Kelce that the Chiefs actually need, especially with Rashee Rice, being suspended, but being suspended for the first 6 games, I think you're going to have to find some other kind of targets, and why not Travis Kelce? So Kansas City, I don't think is going to miss a beat. They're really not. That last preseason game against the Bears, when the first team offense and defense was out there, Kansas City was looking like they're ready to go. On the reverse side, Chargers lost Rashawn Slater for the year, starting left tackle. I still think they're going to be okay. Do I think that they have enough to beat the Chiefs yet? No, I don't. I'm starting to kind of teeter on the Justin Herbert confidence level for me. He could get it done in the regular season. I know this is a regular season game, but can he consistently do it against the good opponents? And that's where I'm starting to teeter a little bit in my confidence of Justin Herbert. So I'm going to go Kansas City in this one. I'm going to go Kansas City -3. All right. And then I'll go the under 46.5. I think that this is going to be a defensive game. I don't think you're going to see a lot of fireworks in this game. I know the people of Brazil probably want to see a high scoring game. I just don't. Chargers defense, Kansas City defense are pretty legit. And I think Jim Harbaugh is going to try to make this a trench battle, if you will. All right, next up, going to Sunday. Tampa Bay visiting the Atlanta Falcons. I think this is such a sneaky division game to have right up to the front. I don't know what Atlanta's going to be yet. I have flutterings of good feelings for them, that they might be better than people think. As for Tampa Bay, I know what Tampa Bay is. I think that they're going to be a great team. I think they're going to win this division. I know we haven't picked the Super Bowls yet. We're going to bring Tate back in, talk about the playoff teams and the Super Bowl, our Super Bowl predictions tomorrow. But listen, Tampa Bay, I think will win this division. But this is a tough spot to go to Atlanta first game. I'm taking Atlanta. Money line, Atlanta +1.5 for that gets a spread. And then I'll take the under 47.5. Listen, Atlanta's D is probably going to show up to play in this one. Tampa Bay's D is pretty good. But I just see that this is one that like 20-17 or something. Atlanta scores a late field goal or late touchdown and puts it away. That's what I kind of see, and Atlanta's going to make their mark right off the start. Okay, so next up we got the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers visiting his former team of the New York Jets. Okay, it's in the Meadowlands. Listen, guys, I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to make a statement in this game. I know it sounds silly, but he circled this game. And I don't think he much cared for his time in the New York Jets era. And I think he's going to go try to put this to bed. So I like Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh -3. And I'll take the under 38.5 as well. Jets have a pretty sneaky defense. So does Pittsburgh. But the problem I have is I don't know what the Jets are going to be offensively. Really kind of concerns me. So I'll go the under 38.5. Next up, Miami Dolphins visiting the Indianapolis Colts. I don't have very good feelings about either one of these teams. Miami, I think, is going to have a really down year. I just have that really pitted my stomach feeling for that. Indy, I don't know what this Daniel Jones era is really going to bring, but he does have a tendency to win these kind of games, especially at home. So I'm going to take Indianapolis. I'll take Indianapolis -1.5, and I'll get under 47.5 again. I know that Dolphins have a high-flying offense. I gotta see it this year. I gotta see it. I really do. All right, next up, we got Carolina Panthers visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen, Jacksonville all day on this one. Jacksonville -3.5, over 46.5. I think you're going to see some scoring in this game. Absolutely. I think Carolina will probably put some things together and kind of shock us a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think that Liam Cohen's debut game against the Carolina Panthers is going to go well for him. I think we're going to see a different Jacksonville team, especially offensively, than we have in a while. Next up, the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. Guys, Commanders, money line, of course. But the New York Giants keeping it close, +6. +6 on the Giants on that one. Yeah, I said it. Russell Wilson will do something silly and, get them back within striking range at the end of the game. That's what it's going to be. And I will take the over 45.5. I think you're going to see some Giants move the ball a little bit here. And, of course, I think you're going to definitely see Washington move the ball. Next up, Arizona Cardinals visiting the New Orleans Saints. Boy, Saints getting no love in this one. And I kind of got to agree. So I'm taking Arizona money line. I'm taking Arizona -6.5 and over 43.5. Jonathan Gannon's Cardinals, I think they're gonna put up some points against the Saints. And I hate to say it, Saints. It's just not going to be a nice year for you. All right, next up, Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati has to get off this bad streak of losing early games in the season. especially openers. Last year they lost to the Patriots, I think. Should not have lost that game. They win that game, they're probably in the playoffs, okay? So, with that being said, Cincy has made it a mark, especially if you hear them talk all preseason. Win game one, win the first couple games. They've been talking about it. Joe Burrow's been talking about it. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, everybody's been talking about it. This is a point of emphasis for them. Cincinnati, money line, Cincinnati minus 5.5. Give me over 48.5. I know Cleveland Browns defense is pretty decent. Cincy wants to do something here. And I'll tell you the other thing that's really not good is Cincinnati's defense. And I think they're going to allow the Browns and Joe Flacco to score a couple points. All right, next up, Las Vegas Raiders versus the New England Patriots. Gosh, that's a pretty decent game, and I'm really kind of curious to see what's going to happen. Pete Carroll's debut going up against Mike Vrabel's debut in New England. Oh, I went back and forth. I really did. But I'm giving it to Pete. I think Pete's going to go in there, and I think the Raiders are going to pull off this game. So I'm going to take Las Vegas Raiders money line, Las Vegas plus 3. And I'll take the under 43.5. I think you're going to see some defensive movements in this game. Pete Carroll's big about that. Mike Vrabel is absolutely big about that. I think you're going to see 16 to 13, 16 to 10 kind of game. All right, next up, San Francisco visiting Seattle Seahawks. A lot of division games to start off with. Lots of division games. But that's okay. Division games, you kind of, no time to warm up. Here we go. We're going right in. I'm going to take San Francisco. I know I'm kind of teetering on them as well, but I'm also kind of teetering on Seattle, and I'm kind of curious to see what Seattle's going to be like with Sam Darnold. I don't know. San Francisco is going to go up there. They're ready to go. San Francisco minus 2.5, and give me the under 43.5. I think Robert Saleh's defense is going to come ready to play for San Francisco. All right, next up, we got the Tennessee Titans versus the Denver Broncos afternoon game. Listen, I like Denver to win this one, but 8.5 points is a lot of points. Yes, I know I just chose that for the Philadelphia Eagles, but we're talking about the Eagles. Probably the top-rated team in the NFL right now. But Denver Broncos, not quite there on being top-rated. Very good, but let's see what they're going to do. I'm going to take Denver to win, Tennessee to cover the plus 8.5, okay? And I will take the under 42.5. There's a lot of high numbers on here, and I know I took over it for you, but I'm burying my head in some of these unders, right in the sand like an ostrich. Here we go. Next up, Detroit versus Green Bay. Wow, Micah Parsons gets to debut against the Detroit Lions. Afternoon game, CBS. Green Bay wins this one, guys. Green Bay minus 2.5, under 47.5. I do like the Lions, but I think Green Bay's going to get a push from Micah Parsons' epidural shot, and they're going to get in there and win this game. Next up, Houston versus the Los Angeles Rams. God, I want to pick the Rams so bad. But Houston, I've been dogging you for a while. I'm not dogging you this time. Houston, I'm picking you to win this game. Houston plus 3, over 43.5. Very finally, Sunday night, Baltimore Ravens versus Buffalo Bills. What a game to start with. That's usually like a week 11 game Sunday night, week 13. Here we go. We've been waiting for it all year, but they're starting off with it. Baltimore Ravens, I think, are absolutely a juggernaut of a team. They really are. If this game was in Baltimore, I'd be picking Baltimore. But it's not. It's in Buffalo. Josh Allen has a little bit of craziness that happens to him when he's in Buffalo. So I am going to take Buffalo to win. I'm going to take Buffalo plus 1.5 then. And I'm going to take the under 50.5. I think that's a lot of points. Now, these two teams can put them up. But, I think Buffalo will hold on to a late game victory. I don't even know, 24-17 or something like that. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight, but I think Buffalo can pull it off. All right, so now, picks, props, parlays. What do we have going on this game for some props and parlays? Well, I got you covered. So, a couple things I did. A.J. Brown, 4+ receptions, okay? Pair these three together. CeeDee Lamb, 6+ receptions. And then 100+ rushing receiving yards from Saquon Barkley. That means he can get him through the air or he can run him on the ground. Those three things together plus 214. Bank it all day. Now, if you've watched this show, I don't do the crazy parlays all the time. I try to get you guys to where you make some money. I like to make money. And anything better than even money coming back to you is a win in my case. Okay? So, next up, 50 plus receiving yards for George Pickens. Yes, I think George Pickens will have a couple sneaky deep passes, especially because I think Dallas Cowboys are going to be down in this game. And then something easy. 1+ passing touchdown for Jalen Hurts and 1+ passing touchdown for Dak Prescott. You put those three things together, it's plus 128. Not crazy money, but better than even money coming back to you. And then I have two more for you. Number one is I have Saquon Barkley scoring the first touchdown of the game. Plus 425. I like Saquon to just bust one. I think he's going to bust through that line. And the joke of we need to stop the run is going to be even funnier after that from Jerry Jones. But that's okay because I think Saquon's going to run it right through and we'll go from there. Last one. Over 3.5 Eagles scored touchdowns. So that means they got to score 4 touchdowns. Now that doesn't matter. Offense, defense, special teams, whichever. Eagles touchdown counts. Okay? So they got to score 4. Okay, so over 3.5 Eagles touchdowns. Dak Prescott to throw 1 interception. Dak Prescott's good for 1 interception, probably especially against this Eagles secondary. Those two things together plus 216 again. Okay, plus 216. That's better than twice your money coming back to you. Those are good things. I like all of those. Guys, that's Thursday. Peas with PJ. We're back. Stay tuned. Like I said, just a couple guys talking football. We'll be back at you here soon, where we're going to talk about the Micah Parsons trade. We're going to talk about our Super Bowl predictions, our playoff predictions, all of those things up and coming. We're going to talk about this game tonight because we got that to talk about. So stay tuned. We should be having a show for you by tomorrow. But other than that, I am out.